Okay, Jim, I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, we need to go here.
Yeah.
No, we can't. Okay. Okay, listen up, guys. I want to have Mark just talk for a few minutes about what he is here, and he's taking some great photographs. I'd like to have him explain them to you. Yes, you can.
This is his rendition of what he's seen.
Now, these are things that he's actually photographed.
These are actual photographs.
These are actual photographs.
I'm going to put photographs here on the left.
He's
anyway,
going to explain that a little bit.
Hi,
Okay.
I'm Mark Seibold with Rose City Astronomers. I've been a member of the group now for, oh gosh, almost 30 years. I'm an old guy. I told this to Jim recently. I think we're about the same age. But I started out making photographs before I did artwork. The artwork was more recent. And unfortunately, I left the newer portfolio tonight at home. I ran out and left it. And had all the recent new artworks that I wanted to show you because looking through telescopes and looking at pictures in books and online are many different things. And today, of course, as you all know, your parents probably have really nice digital cameras, some of them. And like the one that's taking the film of me speaking here right now. I think it's actually going. I hope it is. I'm going to check it. But I'm going to darken the image here so we can see, zoom in on this a bit. But these are early works I did of the moon looking through telescopes. And when astronomers look through telescopes, they're seeing a much different view than what the general public thinks, looking at beautiful Hubble pictures in the internet, or even photographs in books from a few years ago. Things have changed drastically because of the online world today and because of the digital cameras we have now, which are very sensitive. There are actually amateur astronomers today that are able to take photographs, not like I did with a film camera 25, 30 years ago. We just did what were called star trails back then. We let the camera shutter stay open, and we allowed the sky to turn at night around Polaris, the North Star. And I wish I had the other one I wanted to show you that was more impressive than this. I probably have it in here somewhere. I've got so much. I'm going to just keep talking at random, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and feel free to ask. But here's a longer one. This is a 45-minute aimed at Polaris, the North Star. It always seems to stay there, like it never moves. Does anybody know why the North Star doesn't ever seem to move? Any guesses? Now don't be shy. You can ask anything you want. Well, it's always what? Well, that's good. That's almost right. In fact, you're just about right on. The Earth's axis that we spin on every 24 hours, this imaginary pole we call it, is pointed at Polaris, or the pole star, or the North Star. So as we turn at night, the stars seem to turn counter motion around it. So your eyes will not see what happens in 45 minutes like this, because it's a very slow, gradual change. But in 2 hours, you may be out late some night and look up and you'll notice that all these stars have moved west because we're turning east. And as you know, New York City is 3 hours ahead of us. So things that were straight overhead, first stars we see tonight are usually like Vega, is real bright in the summer sky. It'll probably be the first bright one here because I haven't got my orientation down. I know due north is like this way. But Vega's over here in the trees yet. But by midsummer, it's moved at the same hour you look any night. Everything has moved west. And that's because our trip around the sun has moved a little further. But the Earth is going around the sun every 365 days. It's also spinning on our axis every 24 hours. And the moon is going around in counter motion every 29.5 days, or almost 1 month. So there's lots of things moving and changing. And as astronomers look more into the sky, we start to learn all these motions. The ancients did this too, I think Jim might have mentioned this earlier. They looked at the skies. They didn't have television to look at. They didn't have iPhones. I was born when there was no television yet in Portland. I'm that old. There was no TV broadcast yet when I was born. So what did we do without televisions? Well, we did a lot of artwork. We started sketching and looking through telescopes. And these are small, older works. These are...
Did you make these?
I did. I made most of these about in the last, I was sketching as a child, but my parents handed me a camera when I was about age 2 or 3. And that may have been a mistake, because I started walking around the house with an old Kodak box camera and taking pictures of everybody. I thought I was taking pictures, but there was no film in it. So I was pretending to look in the viewfinder and walk around. But by the time I got into high school, I started taking pictures of the night sky. And then I wish I had those early photos, because I don't have them with me here. But things like this was on an old film camera. But this was done, well, I'm going to have to get a little stand here to do this. I don't have the easel I thought I had, but this was done about 2 winters ago. It was the Lovejoy comet. And the telescope, the way you see it set up, photographed this comet with the camera on top of the telescope, not looking through the scope, but just the telescope used for its motor drive. You're going to look at some really big telescopes tonight, and they're just manually operated. They're moved by hand, and they're called Dobsonians, and they were made popular by a gentleman that built these in a monastery in San Francisco back in the 1960s. But serious amateur astronomers today have telescopes that have motor drives on them, and they're tracking the sky's motion. They stay exactly fixed on the star's motion. So you can take long time exposures like this and see faint comets, galaxies, and nebulas, which we'll try to show you tonight in these bigger scopes. But I just did this as kind of an example of me with my telescope, and it's
Is it true that each star is 2,000 miles apart from each other?
that I don't know. The stars are many different distances, of course, more than miles. When we get out to space, the distances are so big we don't talk about mileage, we talk about light years. And our star is about 8 light minutes away. It takes light from the sun 8 minutes to reach us. But I'm just going to adjust this real quick here. But the next nearest star is about 4 light years away. So that runs into, a light year is about 6 trillion miles. So when you said 2,000 miles, you might have thought maybe 2,000 light years is maybe what the stars' distances are between them. And if you're able to stay out late enough tonight, you're going to see a very bright galaxy in the northeast sky rising called the Andromeda Galaxy. And I'll show you pictures of that here in a second. That's why I asked Jim if we could do some online stuff, because most of my stuff is online. As you know, the whole world of photography is becoming online today.
You need some help.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm going to remount this so it's a little narrower here. But actually, if you want, someone wants to come over here and just stand right here and hold this.
Somebody volunteered to go and stand.
Yeah, just for a second.
Yeah, stand up.
I can probably.
Right there. Red shirt, go forward. Go ahead. Go and help him.
And just watch the tripod. There, see, there's a tripod. Okay, just kind of hold that so it won't fall. It's kind of heavy. Got it?
Take both hands.
Both hands. There you go. We're just going to raise this up a little bit. A little higher, maybe. Let's see. Okay, that's good. So I kind of haphazardly threw all this together tonight and arriving a late, and I think that's okay now. Thanks. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks a lot. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was great. Just what I needed. But since the days of film photography, like you see here, taking star trails was very easy. But today, in order to get still pictures, I'm looking for my portfolio here in the dark now. I started taking what people call today panoramas. Instead of taking a single photograph with the camera, you put the camera on a tripod, you aim it in the sky, and you take the shot starting at a corner of the sky, and you move it and take another one, you move it. And you do this over and over until you've mapped the whole sky out in this huge grid. And you take it home, and on your computer, you stitch them all together. And you have this huge image. I don't know if you can see this in the dark here. This is really dim. I purposely made these rather dark so that they look natural. Because we're seeing a lot of pictures today on the internet that are really overblown. Some people are over-processing their images and they're making them look quite unnatural. But down at Cannon Beach, if you know where that's at in Oregon beaches, there's a big rock there called Haystack Rock, and the Milky Way looks like it's rising over here in the summer skies now at night.
Mark, can they come up later on here?
Oh yeah, I'll leave these up, and I'll leave the lights on. You can come by and look at them all through the evening if you want to.
Finish up here, Mark.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
So, so photographs like this they're not a separate photograph. There are many. There's 100 photographs, and you're all stitched together. And these stitching programs are all done automatically in computers today. They're quite easily done. There's another one. You can see the original stitching of it put together. It's not cut out. It's got rough edges around it, untrimmed, of all the separate pictures that were mapped across the sky. You see mosaics like this a lot by NASA too today. And
It's kind of hard to see these in the dark, but these are phenomenal pictures.
I'll do this
and
one.
Maybe you can come up later on and see
I'll
them.
put this much brighter. This was down in Trinidad, California about a month ago, and it's the southern sky you're going to be able to see tonight. As Jim said, you're going to be able to look further south here, low on the south horizon, which is a famous area for astronomers to view in the summer skies. And what you're looking at is the center of our galaxy. And she had a good question earlier. She asked about the distances between stars. But there's many things in this photo, more than just stars. The bright objects here are Mars, Saturn, the star Antares, I don't know, I think it's 50 light years, something like that. Antares is known as a red giant because it's got a slight reddish color, and they compare it to Mars a lot, which is kind of orange-red. But Saturn's kind of just basically yellow. But the stars you see out in here are in our own galaxy. We reside in this galaxy. We're within this. And, let's see. Let me grab just one other folder here real quick. But that's another mosaic of many star photos put together, maybe about, 10, 20, 30 photos all stitched together. And I know it's getting dark, and Jim probably wants you to start heading over to the observing area. I'll just show you one more here. Find that one.
You make really good art.
I was going to say something about Aurora Borealis, because a lot of people ask me if you have to go to Alaska to see Aurora, and you do not. It's seen many nights here in Oregon, out at Trillium Lake, south of Mount Hood. You can see the red-green light here over the mountains. This was unknown until I got there that night, so I didn't even know it was going to happen. I was just there to photograph the Milky Way, which you can see the big band of light in an arc, is our galaxy that we're inside of. You're seeing the big ellipse of the spiral arm on our side that we reside in. And
You can see it on the east side of the hood, or?
it's much darker on the east side of Mount Hood, yes. And it's anywhere you get tonight, like even tonight, that's dark enough here, you'll probably be able to see it a little later as the sky darkens. We're not really in total darkness yet, but you're going to be able to start looking at Jupiter before it goes down here in the southwest sky. And then Mars and Saturn are rising about 20 minutes ago, and they'll be up high enough in the next hour for you to see
The
those.
tree is blocking Jupiter right now, but it's kind of straight up.
Right, still
behind
pretty,
that
there it
tree
is.
there.
There's an airplane.
Oh, that's an airplane. Yeah, astronomers don't observe those. We
No,
just
I
ignore
can,
them.
I can see Jupiter.
But
I see some brilliant
so here's one from Bandon on the beach. I didn't think I had it. Did you see something? Am I missing something? I heard this oohs and ahs. Did I not look at something? Oh, what's that? Oh, the photo. I thought they were looking at the cover of the sky. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at the photo.
This is down at Bandon on Southern Oregon's beach. About a month ago, I took a photo of the beach at sunset in near daylight, and took a shot of the sky at night. The sky at night was showing the zodiacal light. I guess when I got my camera, this focus so you can see it. But zodiacal light is something you see this time of year, and again in the fall in the morning skies. It's the cone of light in our solar system. It's like a huge ring around Saturn, but the whole solar system. The planets also reside in a huge ring of dust. We're all floating in this dust ring. Every planet has a ring around it. Saturn just has the most pronounced one that we can see, but zodiacal light is obvious. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought the tripod thing was going to drop here. I just saw my reflection, scared myself. Never mind.
You're safe.
Yeah. And things like this you see a lot of in the web today are very easily done in Photoshop. These are the total eclipse of the moon out at the Vista House in the gorge.
That's dynamic.
Yeah, and I took it out of the telescope and placed it into the picture just to give it some drama, oversized. This is Aurora Borealis in the gorge. This was done about 2 summers ago. I didn't even know it was going to happen. A gentleman, astronomer in Seattle, said, "Mark, I hear there's going to be Aurora tonight. You should go out to your gorge." So I drove out there. Nobody was there at the Women's Forum in the Vista House right over here east of me. And I saw this purple bars of light with green glow across the horizon here. And so I was just enthralled. I just started clicking away my camera. This is a big panorama too. It's about 10 or 20 photos wide, all stitched together. With the moon rising over a large mountain to the east here in the gorge. Other lights in the gorge, the Bonneville Power Station. The Andromeda Galaxy is actually in this photo at 2.5 million light years out. As it was in this other one, I didn't mention that.
Okay, one more here, Mark.
Okay, Jim.
Close up.
Yeah, here's someone asked about distances of stars, but when we look out of our galaxy, which is about 150,000 light years across, only 150,000 light years. Andromeda is 2.5 million light years away. And it's one of the closest, and we can see it with our naked eye just looking up. You don't need any optical aid. You can see it if you know exactly where to look. And the triangulum galaxy here is 3 million light years away. Very tiny one under Andromeda, but they're here smaller in this photo. So there's a lot of different dimensions here, a lot of things about art that's much different than doing photography. The idea I just wanted to mention as the last thing to remember. Why would artists still do artwork instead of just taking all these beautiful photos? Well, there's something quite interesting and magical that happens. When you look through a telescope and you're actually asked to sketch what you see, don't worry about how good of an artist you think you are or not. Just start making sketches, and you will remember much more of what you see if you make a sketch. It forces your eyes to focus down and get closer and closer as you do the details in the sketches. And so you see an old world art that's still quite popular today and being used by many astronomy artists, and I think it's important for education. And they're probably going to hear about this a lot later on too. The digital world changes a lot. Anyway, I'll leave these set up. You probably want to get going to start observing through the big scopes.
Okay, I want to have you guys go back over here just a minute. There's a couple things. Let's give a round of applause here for Mark.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
You did a very good job.
Oh, thanks. Someone always
Really
told.
good art.
Oh, thanks.
You're very good at your job.
Oh, there's much more here than that. There's a lot more to see. I forgot one of my portfolios tonight of art, so I apologize.
Wait, I had a question.
Oh, thanks.
Is that a telescope?
That is, and the camera's actually tracking on this one here. It is very slowly like a clock, and you can't actually see it moving, but it is moving.
So right now,
It is.
soon it will be like right here.
It's moving so slow you can't see, like looking at the minute hand on your watch. We'll give it some light here and see if it's.
So it's moving right now?
It is very slow, just like a clock, like the hands on a clock.
How do you do such good art?
You practice a lot. You start when you're very young. Like at your age, I probably started sketching, and I gave it up for years. I got into using the camera a lot, and then I bought a telescope with my berry picking money when I was about 13.
I did the same thing.
Did you? You bought a telescope?
Yes.
Really? Well, good for you. Do you still have that telescope today?
Yes, I do.
I still have mine too. I kept it in the box all these years, but
I know.
I've acquired many other ones. This one was given to me to teach overseas in the Fiji Islands a few years ago, and I've taken it across the country to do sidewalk astronomy. I do it in Portland a lot too. And then the bigger telescope I still got in the car. I didn't pull out. It would be like the ones you're going to look through over here. It's a big Dobsonian. So,
Yeah, I had time in Hawaii up
Oh,
in
wow.
a big telescope.
you're lucky. I've been to the Fiji Islands, but not Hawaii.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, my daughter's been there, and a lot of my other family's been there, but I've never gone to Hawaii yet in my life.
Went up there and I got, 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the most,
I feel like I've talked to you somewhere before where
I
I've done
think we
it.
have.
Like at another Girl Scouts event
Yes.
last year,
Yes,
up in the gorge somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a fantastic. I mean, that nebula that I was looking at, and I'm like, oh, but this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh, the photographs, yeah, it's very easily
Yes,
done. Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
that's just easy to photograph.
I don't care.
That was that was the Lovejoy comet, and it was photographed, and then I took a shot of myself in the studio at home with the telescope.
This is beautiful. You should
Oh.
sell this.
Oh, thanks.
No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I think the art world is not.
Oh, what are you talking about? Who cares?
I guess a lot of artists are very critical. We don't see the value in our works. I guess the public does, and we should probably realize that.
You need to realize that.
Yeah,
You
and
seriously
I've
do.
talked about it on National Public Radio over the years
I mean, look
and
at
other
this.
venues.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, these are two of the more recent works I've done the last year. This was just done about a month ago up in Northern California, Trinidad. As I explained in there, this is the Milky Way. You're going to see this out here as you look south on Mars and Saturn and Antares, making this triangle. But there's a comet. I forgot to tell the kids. There's a little green comet here. I don't want to touch it because it's silverized paper. I'm trying to get it out. It's a little comet called. The name is now moved north. It's faded away. It doesn't have much of a tail. In fact, there's no tail. Like the Lovejoy comet. Oh, that's a satellite or a plane. Yeah, that just flew through in a 10-second plane. It happens a lot in astrophotography. We always catch accidentally satellites and planes going through photos. I was hoping you let me talk a little longer and I would with the artwork, but I might go. I step over the right where you're at, just get in between. I'll pull out some different artwork. Let them see this. Well, thanks. It's really it's a process of many things like that. I should tell the kids. In 14 months, we're going to see this in the sky here in Oregon. We'll be the first to see it in the ocean. We should tell them. Jim should tell them.